Hello there. So today we are going to remove monomial GCFs from our polynomials. Before I start, I want to make sure that everybody knows the difference between expanding and factoring. It's actually quite simple. To expand, it means we multiply. So in the example that I have set up, we're going to multiply that 3 in. That is the process called expanding. So when I go from something with brackets to something without brackets, that is what is called expanding. Now, for the rest of the unit, we want to actually go backwards. I'm going to start you with the 3x plus 6 style question, and I want you to create the bracketed situation. That is what factoring is. So factoring and expanding, they are opposites to each other. Now, the very first step on factoring out algebraic monomials is to identify what the greatest common factor is. So what I've done here on these two monomials is I have broken them down into their prime factors. Okay, and since we want the greatest common factor, what I'm going to do is I'm going to circle what's common between the two numbers. So we've got a couple of 2's here, couple of 3's. I've got 4 x's up here, but only 3 down here. So these 3's are common, or pardon me, these x's are common. And for the y's, it looks like only 2 of them are common. So everything that is circled in green right now, this is going to become my GCF, greatest common factor. So 2 times 3 times x cubed times y squared. So our GCF here is 6x cubed y squared. Now, we cannot do this process every single time. It will take too long. We have to find this GCF in a shorter way. So what I would like you to do right now is after I say go, I want you to look at the two monomials that I just put yellow on, look at the final answer, and can you make up your own rule that determines the GCF without prime factorizing? Okay, you go ahead and do that right now. Okay, so your wording might be a little different than mine, but hopefully we have the same flavor. So what we need to do is find the GCF, the greatest common factor of just the coefficients, 18 and negative 24, happen to be 6. So the biggest number that divides evenly into those numbers. And for the variables, you just take the lowest number. So whether for the x's it was 3 was lower than 4, and for the y's 2 was lower than 5. And that's it. Now what I'd like us to do is to flip to the next page here. I have some steps here, but I'm going to go straight into the examples. I'd like you to find the GCF for each of these letters here, A, B, C, and C. So the monomials, I have red square brackets underneath. So what is the greatest common factor between 20x and negative 6? Can you please write it right here? And then do it for B and C. And we'll see if you're right. Okay, hopefully you got the GCFs that I have. What we're going to do now is we're going to actually factor it out from our examples. So we don't normally just write GCF equals up at the top here. All of this you would skip. You would determine, instead of putting it up above or beside, you would just go underneath your question and bring your GCF to the front. And then we're going to put in brackets. Now what goes inside the brackets? Well, because I have 2 red square brackets in the question, I've got to have 2 red square brackets here. And you can continue this along in all of the questions. Okay, so I'm going to have 2 spaces here, 1, 2, etc. Maybe I'll let you do C on your own. So how do I know what goes in the brackets? Well, any of the terms that weren't common, that's what gets left in the brackets. So if this was a question from on this one over here, everything that I'm putting yellow on right now, these would be all the factors that we would leave in the brackets, because everything that was in a green circle or box, that is going to be brought to the front. But everything that I just put yellow on, that gets left behind. So let's see how that works. So for this first term here used to be a 20x. So let's bring it, it's a 2 times a 10 times an x. So if I brought the 2 out front, that means 10 and x get left behind. Now because it's minus 6, I'm going to minus here. We just carry that sign through. Now this time, 6 is 2 times 3. But I brought the 2 to the front, so what's left behind is the 3. And we have done our first factoring. Now always check your work. Is 2 times 10x 20x? Sure is. And is 2 times negative 3 negative 6? It sure is. Okay, let's do it one more time. And then I'll get you to do C on your own. So, what we had before was 16x4. But then we're going to break it down into 4 times 4 times x, 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 4 of them. Now what bits went into my GCF? I had one of the 4's went into the GCF, and 2 of the x's went into the GCF. That means this other 4 and these 2 x's are left behind. So what do I have? I have 4x squared plus. Now this is an interesting one. The GCF is the entire term. So we just leave a 1 behind. Let's do a little expansion to check our work. 4 times 4 is 16. X squared times x squared is x4. 4x squared times 1 is 4x squared. So we are done. Okay, you can pause the video right now and try C on your own and see if we match. I'm going to offer a slightly different way to do C though, because this, what I'm doing down here, that's time consuming and it takes a lot of work and it's messy. So this is how I actually do it in practice. I'm going to start by putting my GCF in the front. And now, instead of breaking it down into the factors, I'm just going to ask myself, 2 times what gives me 10? And I just write a 5 there. Okay, do it again for the A. A times what gives me A cubed? A squared. And B times what? B squared equals B squared. Well, nothing, it's just a 1. So I'm done that whole thing. Okay, let's just check our work. Do these two terms multiply together equal to the first term here? Okay, I think it does. Let's do it again. Okay, because this is a plus, I'm going to bring the plus down. Now, 2 times what is 8? 4. A times 1 is A. B squared times B is B cubed. Double check by expansion. Indeed, when I multiply the GCF by the 4b, I get back to where I started. Last but not least, plus, because this is a plus right here. Now, I brought the 2 to the front, so that's gone. I brought the A to the front, so that's gone. I took 2 of the B's to the front, and what's left behind? Just a B squared. Okay, so you know there's so many different ways to be thinking about how to do this. Everybody's a little bit different. So whether you can visualize the terms like growing legs and walking to the front and just leaving the other terms behind, or if you answer these multiplication questions in your head, that's fine too. There's even a way that you could use division to get to your answer. The bottom line is we just need it factored. Okay, good luck on tonight's homework and happy mathing.